So with me is Shane Foran, who's the regional franchisor for gyms Mowing in South Australia, who has more than 130 franchise owners. And you've been involved with gyms for around 20 years. So maybe you just want to tell us a bit about your story and your journey with gyms so far.
Yeah, sure. We started off as franchisees, as most franchisors do. And we were franchisees for about 8 years and really grew and developed. And I suppose it started with my old man. He got involved in the business, and then I followed my way into the business. He used to work for St. John's as a mechanic, foreman manager, and kind of like got stuck in that middle management kind of rut where he could do no wrong or right, and got himself actually a bit depressed about it as well. So when he went into gyms, it was kind of like a saving light. So, and then from that, we saw what it did to him, and then I got involved in the business as well. And then we wanted to share it with others when we got involved. But for myself personally, I spent a lot of time at university doing studies and things like that in the IT field, but then came out and realised that I don't want to sit under a neon light with air conditioning with people I don't really like around the water cooler trying to make conversation. The old man said to me, "Man, listen, life's too short. If you don't like what you're doing, man, come out with me, and you'll probably earn just as good money when you consider some of the tax breaks and stuff that are involved." And I did, and never really looked back. And worked with him as a franchisee probably for about 5 years, and then we bought the franchisor rights, which was, at the time didn't realise, but it was really advantageous because Dad passed away at 64. But I don't feel robbed because I got to spend 15 years of my life with the old man almost every day. Ups and downs, but that was a gift. So yeah.
So I want to talk about now a comment that we see online a lot is about, obviously people say, well, do it yourself, don't pay fees, etc.
Yep.
Can you maybe address some of those reasons as to why franchise is definitely the better option to go?
Yeah, well, I suppose starting right at the structure, okay, well, fees, or what are fees? Well, fees in gyms, as you would know, are very structured, aren't they? You know what I mean? So you've got your advertising fee, and then you've got your service fee, but your service fee pays for 3 people. It pays for your franchisor that's going to coach you and run the state or run that area for you, and manage everyone, manage complaints, make sure your brand's not getting damaged. You've got national office who run the whole system, do you know what I mean, and support us and support franchisees. And then you've got the call centre. So it's a fee-for-service model. It's not a grab on your revenue. It's these guys, to make the system work, these 3 people, contribute to your value in running the system. So it's not a rip-off. It's a fee-for-service to run the system that then helps you earn money. So if you weren't paying fees, you wouldn't be able to earn the amount of money you do earn. And then, of course, you've got your lead fee, which is your client introductory fee, which is it's different in different divisions. For us, it's only about $10, $12 after you take the discount out of it. So it's minor, but it's there to represent that clients are of value as well. So very fair, thought out fees where no one's fat cat sitting at the top. It's just fair fee for fair service. So that's the first thing I'd say about fees. But the second thing I'd also say is, I think we've all probably had those moments in life where you've been a cheapskate and got the builder in to do something who's the cheapest guy, and you've got the problem associated with that as well. Well, the same thing applies probably here. If those people are ready to make that decision in their life, don't be a cheapskate. You know what I mean? Because it will only just cost you in the long run.
Common question we always see as well is how much? So maybe you want to address a little bit about that, about the prices and the different sort of things they can buy maybe.
Oh, how much they earn, or how much they get to get involved?
For a new sale, for a split, for maybe resales, that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so I tend to divide it up into, it depends what you're going to buy. That's probably the first differentiation. So you go, well, am I buying an existing business with customers? And in the gym system doesn't try and stand in between someone selling their business and someone buying it. So you're buying it directly off of that guy to the large degree. All right. So the price of the businesses vary depending on the size and what that guy's got to offer. And then, there's equipment and stuff like that. In general, I use a very simple way of describing it to guys coming in that tries to make it nice and simple and help them. And the first one is there's about $5,000 worth of training and getting involved costs with gyms. So $5,000, no matter what you're buying, resale, new one, doesn't matter. $5,000, OH&S pack, uniforms, training, they're your main ones, right? But it's about $5,000. It adds up to between 4 and 5. The second one is going, okay, well, am I buying an existing business for $25,000? About the average, 25 to 35 for us is about the average. There is some more expensive ones, but that's the general one. Then trailer and equipment is the other component, but in general, they can be leased. So I always say spend more money on the business and rent your trailer and equipment, and it costs you nothing up front, unless you're buying it off of the existing guy. So everyone's different. So it's part of your franchisor's role, or my role when you're getting involved in business, is to sit down with you and go, what do you want? How much money have you got? What do you want to spend it on? So, and what's good value? You know, if the equipment and trailer is really good and it's half price, beautiful. Maybe it's worth investing in that. So it's a consultation process. So all up, what are we talking? We're talking probably buying an existing business 25, add another 5 onto it for cost of getting involved. So you're talking somewhere between that 30 to 40 for most of them. But you can get in really cheap as well. You know, you can get in cheap with a new one, and it only costs $5,000 deposit. So $5,000 worth of getting involved costs, $5,000 worth of deposit on a $20,000 new business, and you're done.
And that's great to hear that. You know, obviously we get that question all the time. So if you're in South Australia and you're watching this, obviously this is Shane, this is the regional franchisor. When you do the 131546 inquiry, this is the man you'll be talking to, and he's been very upfront and transparent with his information. A lot of franchise systems do not do that. So you've got a lot of great info there, and you can quiz Shane about it. So 131546 for the inquiry, or jimsmowing.com.au, and put that in there, and hopefully Shane can be hearing from you very soon. So maybe let's talk about one of the support structures that we have in place, which is very unique to gyms, is the pay for work guarantee.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
Yes. So
Well, the first thing that I always say about pay for work guarantee is we don't pay much of it out, right? So, and I say to guys that are looking to get involved, don't put as much emphasis on it. I know it's there to make you feel secure when you're coming from employment, and you know, you got to get past the missus, don't you? You know, in mowing, it's the missus normally you got to get it past, and she wants some guarantees. So that's what it's there for, to guarantee that you're going to earn that $1,500 a week. It doesn't just come to you in a check. You've got to earn it, which is good. That's, you're in business. You've got to earn things. They don't just come to you. So it's a very, once again, fair system. $1,500 a week makes everyone feel comfortable, but we want you to earn a lot more than that. Yeah.
So it's a great safety net, and someone making that transition,
Safety net.
that's what it's there for, to help them.
Yeah, to emotionally and mentally make that transition. But man, we're going to coach you to earn more than $1,500. Yeah.
That's a great thing to hear. Yeah, so even though it's an individual business under the franchise banner,
they're
not just left, that whole support, that community, that team environment which you've created over years as well and refined, that's what they're buying as well when they come into
the team environment I've been given to, and I'm going to give back in terms of knowledge, is really, really important. And that's probably the biggest thing about being an independent. I mean, if you're an independent starting off day one, what do you do? Do you know what I mean? But the brand gives you work, you know, and support, and gives you premium price as well, which is, margin's so important. But then you've got all the support from the group as well. So you're never left alone. And we've done it all before, Joel. You know, so it's like 130 guys. I've been doing it for 14 years. Doesn't have to be 14 years, but just I've seen everything before. So when you ring up, I can tell you the smartest thing to do, or I can refer you to someone who I know has done that before, because I'm not always the smartest person. It might be fruit trees, and I'm like, oh, gee, I know a guy that done something with fruit trees. Talk to him. So your franchisor gives you support, but he's also a conduit to the rest of the group.
And it's also mitigating that risk of going out of business in your first year, which is very tough.
Oh,
obviously, it's proven with the franchise, obviously, a way less, you've got a way better chance of success under the system.
Yeah, well, no support, you know, no one to laugh together when you stuff things up, but also, you know, what's your pricing going to be like? You know what I mean? How do you quote jobs? You know, when you go and you deal with a difficult customer, which customers should you keep? Which ones should you get rid of? I mean, it's so important in this business when we're talking about regular client bases. So, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I always say, my words are always, I would not be an independent. And that's after all my years of experience,
So as a regional franchisor, Shane, what is your role in terms of support for the franchisee?
Well, support basically is everything we do, and it starts from day one. So from day one, when you get involved with Gyms Mowing South Australia, you're going to be getting weekly calls for 8 to 12 weeks from us. So, and those weekly calls tend to be, you're making enough money, you got enough work, and are you happy? And even after those 12 weeks finish, and they're intense 12 weeks, they're the most vulnerable time for a new guy coming in terms of, you know, his confidence and what he's doing. He needs more contact, so we've got that. And then we interlace that with actual emails that go out to them as well. So they've got emails going out to them telling them about the 8 most important things that they need to get their head around in order to run a really good business. You know, KPIs, what are they? What are you measuring? Right through to customer services and getting star ratings, high star ratings, 5-star ratings. So we really help them in that first 8 to 12 weeks, and then we move into monthly calls. Same thing though, because that's all you want to know is you making enough money, got enough work, and are you happy? And we ask those 3 questions, and of course conversations go from that point, and you start developing relationships as well. Now, on top of that, again, probably the most powerful thing in gyms, and when people say to me, why get involved in gyms? I say there's 2 reasons. The brand, and everyone goes, yeah, of course, the brand. But the other one is the support, right? And we talked a little bit about that then, but really I'm only one individual and it's one phone call. The real support comes from like workshops and meetings. So when we get together once a month and we go around the group and we go, hey buddy, what happened this month? And the new guys will say, I misquoted a job, and everyone laughs and go, yeah, we did that when we first started, but those other guys in the meeting will then contribute and go, and this is how I learned not to do that. And as you're going around the group of 20 people and asking those questions, there's nuggets of gold that come out that you just go, oh, that's so smart. So it's the interaction, it's the making a conduit for the guys to talk amongst themselves, form relationships amongst themselves locally, and share knowledge. And that all comes back because when someone's helped you out, when you get a bit of experience, you'll be in a position to help them out and, you know, guide them and stuff like that. So it's a real hands-on approach to support.